In the realm of law, the courtroom is the battleground where cases are won or lost. For a defense attorney, it is crucial to employ effective strategies to ensure the best possible outcome for their clients. This article will delve into various defense strategies that can be employed in court, focusing on their legal, ethical, and practical implications. Understanding the case. Before formulating any defense strategy, it is imperative to thoroughly understand the case. This involves reviewing all available evidence, understanding the charges, and identifying potential weaknesses in the prosecution's case. By understanding the case inside and out, a defense attorney can develop a strategy tailored to the specific circumstances. Presumption of innocence. One of the fundamental principles of criminal law is the presumption of innocence. This means that the burden of proof lies with the prosecution, and the defendant is presumed innocent until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. A defense attorney can use this principle to their advantage by challenging the prosecution's evidence and presenting a reasonable doubt about the defendant's guilt. Alibi defense. An alibi defense is based on the premise that the defendant was not present at the scene of the crime when it occurred. This defense relies on providing evidence, such as witness testimony or documentary evidence, to establish that the defendant was elsewhere at the time of the crime. An alibi defense can be particularly effective if the prosecution's case relies heavily on eyewitness testimony or circumstantial evidence. Self-defense. In cases where the defendant is charged with a violent crime such as assault or homicide, a self-defense strategy may be appropriate. This defense argues that the defendant's actions were justified because they were acting in self-defense to protect themselves or others from harm. To be successful, a self-defense strategy must demonstrate that the defendant's actions were reasonable under the circumstances. Mental incapacity. In some cases, a defense attorney may argue that the defendant was mentally incapacitated at the time of the crime, making them incapable of forming the requisite intent to commit the offense. This defense relies on presenting evidence, such as expert testimony or medical records, to establish that the defendant was suffering from a mental illness or defect at the time of the crime. Plea bargaining. In cases where the evidence against the defendant is overwhelming, a defense attorney may negotiate a plea bargain with the prosecution. A plea bargain involves the defendant pleading guilty to a lesser charge or receiving a reduced sentence in exchange for cooperating with the prosecution or providing valuable information. In conclusion, effective defense strategies at court require a deep understanding of the case, the law, and the principles of criminal defense. By employing strategies such as challenging the prosecution's evidence, presenting an alibi defense, arguing self-defense, or negotiating a plea bargain, a defense attorney can work towards achieving the best possible outcome for their client.